Hello everyone, very good afternoon to all the viewers of the Legal Game. This is Kushagra Goel, your educator for the CLAT examination. So we are at the halfway mark of the month and therefore it calls for now a revision of what all we have happened throughout this month. In terms of December month, the key news or the headlines that have made the big front pages, all right. So first of all, the one big news for December month is the one on December 10, which is the Nobel Prizes. ठीक है. The Nobel Prizes are the key aspect of the examination. They ensure they are a core area that is definitely asked in the examination. कुछ भी कर लीजिए, हमेशा there will be a question related to the Nobel Prizes. Similarly, the other big news of the month is the winter session of the Union Parliament. The Parliament session, and the big news from that, it broke up with the suspension of 12 opposition MPs. That has been the issue that has been dragging. In this month only, the farm bills were repealed and the farmer protest was finally wounded up. But apart from this, there have been other big controversies around the globe, which is one of them was the Summit for Democracy, the one hosted by US Secretary of State Anthony Blinken. This is the one where Prime Minister Modi along with Joe Biden, US President, also interacted. They gave out what democracies need to do to improve the situation on the ground. So on that note, we dive into December 15 newspaper analysis. The big news is twofold. The first one is wholesale price inflation spikes to a record as fuel surge. This is the highest inflation has hit in 13 times, and this number of is almost the record highest it has ever been in the past almost 2 decades. Okay, yesterday we had talked about retail inflation. कल हमने the figures of retail inflation की बात करी थी, where the range is 2 to 6%. Here we have inflation at wholesale prices up to 14.2% on a क्वार्टर टू क्वार्टर बेसिस. दैट पिछले महीने के कंपैरिजन में इस महीने इन्फ्लेशन 14% की ग्रोथ पे. दिस शोज दैट अनलेस द इनकम ऑफ पीपल इंक्रीजेस, people are going to get poorer and poorer. Okay, so what all do we need to know? India's wholesale inflation accelerated to a new high of 14.2 in November from 12.5 of October. We have been going higher and higher, a negative surprise. The 8th month in a row that India has seen double-digit inflation, a negative surprise. Expectations that tax cut on fuel announced by Union government will bring some relief has been largely belied. That one must always remember that the overall percentage of taxes on fuel, that is petrol and diesel, was much lower before the pandemic began. Over time, the government had been increasing it and it reached its pinnacle before it was reduced a little in the past month. The primary reason for this reduction was to keep a brake on the wholesale price inflation. But the same has not happened and inflation has went on to increase. This means that the overall supply side, कल के न्यूज़पेपर एनालिसिस में भी हमने सप्लाई साइड इकोनॉमिक्स की बात करी थी, एंड आज भी वी विल टॉक अबाउट इट वंस अगेन. दिस सप्लाई साइड ऑफ इकोनॉमिक्स इज द वन that is the major reason for push against the prices, and that is what needs to be addressed on a larger basis. This is this area in general that we need to address on a long-term basis, that government now needs to change its stance from accommodative credit policy. Now, what is this accommodative credit policy? RBI has kept interest rates or the price of credit. Interest rate is nothing but price of credit. This price of credit has been at record cheap levels. Because of credit being at cheap level, the value of money has gone down. And because the value of money has gone down, the amount of money you need to pay for the same amount of quantity of a produce has gone up. Because value of money has gone down, the amount one pays for goods has gone up. So unless your wages increase, unless the wage bracket increases, you will now become poorer by the day. This is what the case with wholesale price index is now all about. That we need to improve the level of or the value of money in long term. Otherwise, people will now start losing their savings. And if they start losing their savings, they will also start losing a lot more of their overall basis, in the sense that they will now start to lose, or value erosion will now start happening to the economy at large. If more and more people become poorer by the day, they will start demanding less, then the supply side constraints will happen even more. What needs to be done is a change from RBI's accommodative stance. This needs to go now to keep a address on inflation. If inflation cannot be allowed to go to unmanageable levels, that is the first concern that the government has to deal with. That now the RBI should increase repo rate. Repo rate is the rate at which banks borrow. Only by increase of repo rate will the value of money stabilize, and there could be some restriction on the level of inflation in the economy. Okay. Then on the right hand side, Asian Development Bank marginally lowered its growth projection of Indian economy from 9.7 to 9.7 from 10. That earlier it had predicted a double digit growth. Now it expects that this is not going to happen. Then on the right hand side, Supreme Court approves widening of the 3 Char Dham roads. Or these highways will now be extended. That is the 3 national highways from Rishikesh to Mana, Rishikesh to Gangotri, and Tanakpur to Pithoragarh. These highways will now be allowed for double lane with paved shoulder system. The government argued that this is essential. Why? Because the army needs better access to the areas up top, and it is a matter of national security. That national security triumphs any environmental concerns if they are to be. Himalayas since 2013, because of climate change, have been found to be very volatile. A lot of catastrophes have happened there in recent times, and thus that cannot be ruled out in future. As more construction activity would take place in the area, it is also going to affect the way or the stability of the mountains. This was argued by the petitioners in challenge to the 3 Char Dham highways, that if this is allowed, it is going to affect the overall stability of the mountains, and this should not be the case. But the Supreme Court has stated that the court in judicial review cannot second guess infrastructural needs of the armed forces. That if and the need of the army triumphs every other consideration. That is the bottom line that the Supreme Court has now laid down. Okay, then we move on. The special investigation team that was investigating the violence of Lakhimpur Kheri, where farmers were mowed down by the SUV, and then two other assassinations happened or murders happened in retaliation of the incident. The SIT has claimed that this and the act of mowing down of farmers was pre-planned and intentionally done, and therefore there was no case of reckless driving but actually a case of murder under the IPC. So we will talk about this in national news. This is a very important one because Union Minister of State, Union Home Minister, Minister of State Ajay Mishra's son Ashish Mishra is the primary accused in the case. That the car registered in the name of Union Home Minister was the one used by his son to mow down the farmers. That is the case that the SIT has now confirmed under the charge of murder. Okay, then we move on to the other national. Disclose ingredients used in food items, manufacturers told. Every person has a right to know what they are consuming. So in response to a consumer complaint, food and as a right of the consumers, they should now be informed of everything that goes into what they are consuming. No manufacturer can hide the ingredients from you. It should be fairly disclosed what is the plant source or the animal source in respect to the ingredients of whatever measure they are used. That there has to be clarity in terms of the consumption of food, especially packed food from manufacturers. This is the right of the consumers. If incorrect information is provided, then the liability accrues to the manufacturers in the present case. This is a bottom line that the Delhi High Court has now stated, and the Food Safety and Standards Authority of India is the agency that has to ensure that every manufacturer is now complying with the same. Then we move on, deliberating on booster doses of COVID vaccines, government to High Court, that there is limited knowledge on duration of vaccine immunity. It needs to be seen what the government does. Okay. Then we come to other national view. So the main editorial is written by Congress member of parliament, going back to the foundation of the republic. The most important contribution of the constitution to civic nationalism is of representation and individuals. Okay, this is a editorial that is important because it is a summary of constitutional rights which formulate part of our examination syllabus. Okay, so what all do we need to summarize from this, and what has Mr. Tharoor written? That being apart from whatever the political case here, okay, we focus on the other areas that have been highlighted. In particular, striking in today's context, constitution makers explicitly rejected notion of religion playing any role in citizenship, arguing that each individual voter exercised agency in democratic projects. What is this right? That votes cannot be sought in name of religion. This is one bottom line. The second one is what was the basis of citizenship of India. In India, remember, when India was partitioned, the founders of India, they believed in a multipolar society, a plural society at large, which provides rights to everyone who wants to be a part of the society. In that regard, people of different faiths were welcomed. So, citizenship in India meant anyone who believed in the idea of India. This is a key distinction that needs to be understood, that there is no criteria of religion or no discrimination can be done of Indians on the basis of their religion. So anyone who believed in the idea of India, that you believed you belong to India, then you were declared the citizen of India. And plus, no politician will use your religion as a way to justify his actions or to evoke a response from the public. This is one founding principle of the Constitution. Then the second one is the division. Okay. Now, for us, this principle of citizenship is the key area for to be studied. Okay. Okay. This is also in extension to an article and report and speech of a present judge of the Supreme Court, that is Justice Chandrachud. What did he mention? That at the same time, Constitution acknowledged group rights such as rights of religious denomination to establish and maintain institution of religious and charitable purposes, the right of citizens to conserve distinct. So it recognized your differences and the protection of those minorities. That in a democracy, minority have right to be protected. This is to the extension of their identity, their way of working, their overall relationship with the union. All of that is protected within the structure that we have. That is the constitutional premise on which we are based in any democracy. If minorities are not protected, then there is no difference between an autocratic government or an autocracy or a despotic state and a democracy. What differentiates an authoritarian rule with a constitutional one is a protection of the minorities. Okay. Then with this, so apart from this is all political jargon that we don't have to deal with. Then on the left hand side, pain from prices, more fuel tax cuts are needed to prevent inflation from hurting the economy. Why fuel taxes? Okay, so this picks up from inflation that we talked about yesterday, which is year on year inflation has increased by 5% from last year. Okay, now why is that the case? This is the case because fuel tax is non-progressive. As it is non-progressive, okay, as it is non-progressive, you need to take steps to ensure that if inflation is maintained, the poor have less tax burden than the rich. So how do you do that? The government taxes unessential or inessential goods far more than the essential ones. Fuel is an essential commodity of the people. Everyone consumes fuel, but the tax percentage on fuel for the poor and the rich is the same. Therefore, it is a flat tax rate. Fuel tax is non-progressive and has a flat tax rate. Okay, in terms of this is what hurts the poor far more, because fuel price of 1 rupee affects the transportation cost of every commodity that is consumed by the poor. And because they are sensitive to fuel prices, the commodities they consume is sensitive to fuel prices, any increase in fuel taxes affects their income disproportionately. If the fuel burden of a household becomes 50%, their life becomes unsustainable. So, in an economy where incomes are falling, where jobs are reducing, where there is little growth over the past 2 years, then a rise in fuel tax only makes the poor poorer. This is what the claim of the editorial. And thus, the government needs to do much more and reduce the taxes far, far more. So, the excise duty reduction done by the government now needs to be done far, far more. Okay. And one of the other reason is that while manufacturers in some sectors may opt to absorb rising fuel costs, at least in the short term till demand gets more entrenched, the signs of including from automakers are far from reassuring. That despite credit being at record low, there has been no increase in demand for commodities. Because there has been no increase in demand for commodities, there is a risk that none of the claims of us reaching a certain level of growth to increase the level of income is going to actually happen. If that is not going to happen, the people are going to continue suffering. Okay, and thus, in light of the suffering, the government should take steps to reduce taxation. Then, troubling question. This is related to the CBSE question, which had gender stereotypes entrenched all over it, as called out by the Congress President Sonia Gandhi. Why is this important? This is important because it called out the misogyny. Women gaining independence is the main reason for wide variety of social and family problems. That young impressionable teenage the emancipation of wife destroyed the parents' authority over the children, and in bringing the man down from the pedestal, the wife and mother deprived herself, in fact, of the means of discipline. That everything that is happening wrong in the society, first, though a man is on a pedestal, which itself is a notion of patriarchy. The second problem with this paragraph was that independence of someone or recognition of freedom of someone is a reduction of rights of the others. ह्यूमन राइट का कॉन्सेप्ट क्या है और कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल राइट्स का कॉन्सेप्ट क्या है कि when everyone has those rights, it creates a level playing field. It is beneficial for everyone. There is no way that a fall of the overall a fall in terms of rights of someone or an increase in freedom of someone is going to reduce the freedom available to another. The idea of constitutional rights are that your right ends where my right begins. So based on that principle, we have a pure level playing field, and thus there is no proof until and unless you believe in a misogynistic idea that giving women the freedom is going to reduce the rights of the others. Okay, this is what was criticized. Secondly, in India, misogyny has long roots. Inequalities of caste, gender, village already exist in school system, and such paragraphs. It is imperative to lighten the children's burden, and CBSE has sent out the worst possible message. In the time of the pandemic, the students need to be reassured that things will get better. Education is a way for them to get out of it and for a better future. However, to a girl who is suffering from high level of malnutrition in this country, to give them such passages is to tell them that this is, and they are someone who have to uphold the false standing of the other gender. The other part is, due to the pandemic, there has also been a reduction in syllabus. So there will be glaring learning gaps that children are facing. In the same time, if we also reduce the critical thinking of children, that is going to have disastrous consequences for the future learners. Then we come to the second editorial, the National Monetization Pipeline, which is the government plan to monetize assets of 6 lakh crore to generate wealth, is hardly the panacea for growth in India. Panacea meaning one-stop solution, okay, or basically like a magic wand, that this is like the one stop solution that we all need, and the moment we attain this one solution or we implement it, everything will be good and rosy for India. Growth is essential for Indian economy to generate wealth that needs to be redistributed with the poor of the country. We cannot redistribute what we have not gained. Therefore, we need to grow. This is the bottom line. We cannot keep on taxing the rich and give it to the poor without any growth. It will not happen. But at the same time, is the national monetization policy the key aspect, that is to create assets? The editorial states no. Why? Because monetization of what? Monetization of public assets. So what is being sold off is assets of the public to the private sector. Will that mean that the private sector will be able to lead the growth? Probably not, because recently the finance minister released a tranche of funding to the states. On what ground? On the ground that private sector investment has not picked up, so the state needs to take a lead. If the state has to take a lead, it needs to own assets into which it will pump money. And if it is pumping money in private sector which is not investing in the economy, then we are at the same level. Therefore, we need public sector. Public sector needs to grow, in which the government will put in money, which will then create demand for the population. Alright, this is what the editorial states, that by merely selling of assets, we are not going to gain any sustainable level of income in the economy. Okay, then we move on. Needed repeal of AFSPA and not regret. This is written by Udayan Misra, that stating we now need to have the repeal of AFSPA from the states because it takes away the rights of the people. It is not a law for law enforcement, it is a law to deny the people of their rights of guaranteed under the constitution. As of today, only 2 states are completely under AFSPA, that is Nagaland and Assam. And then there are certain districts of Arunachal Pradesh which are under AFSPA. Those, now there has been, after the incidents, a day prior to in the first week of December, which led to killing of 14 innocent Nagaland by the army. That incident has sparked widespread outrage because action against those army men cannot be taken because of AFSPA. Alright, then we move on the right hand side. Losing the art of critical thinking, CBSE's recent apology for an examination question is worrying. This is once again calling out the CBSE for its passage. This is the passage in relation to the question that was asked in Gujarat, that which political party was in charge during the 2002 Godhra riots. The CBSE stated that this question was something that they should not have brought in. Now, the author questions that why such questions should be present in the first place. When we see the society at large, or when we study about events of past, we critically analyze them that why they should have happened or why they should not have happened. What could be the reason? For example, any violent incident needs to be called out for what it was. We study the Holocaust to remember that hate only or stereotypes only perpetuate hate, which can lead to such disastrous thinking that the Nazis possessed. They believed in stereotype that the country was facing problem because of the Jews, the othering of the problem, कि सारी दिक्कत की जड़ ये लोग हैं. So then the violence happened. So we now need to realize that not everything is in the post-truth age, that not everything is opinion of one side or the other. You cannot say killing of people was justified because of so and so. No, killing of people was wrong. Those kinds of questions evoke the memory of thinking that how certain thing is correct or not. By apologizing and not asking such questions, we are limiting the children to a scope of looking only at black and white, or only at the white areas and not the black or the gray areas. It is in the gray areas where the thinking of the brain happens, analysis happens. As lawyers or future law students, what does a lawyer do? A lawyer tries to apply complex legal situations or complex legal principles into practical situations based on the demand of their clients. Now, in that regard, they need to look into real-time aspects, how things are being worked up, what needs to be done, what is the aspect that has to be taken into consideration. So, if we are not looking or calling out the actions of the state for what they are, we will never call out the mistakes of the states ever, because we will now then lose the understanding of how things happen. So therefore this passage is very, very important, especially for law students, because as law students we are taught to critically analyze everything. This is the key part. Okay, so thus this article is very, very important for us. Then we move on. The fight over coal in Telangana, not important for us. 6 million salaried jobs lost in the month of November. India has been losing jobs at a alarming rate, that although India's total unemployment rate fell, we lost more formal employees than at any point of time, which is showing that how the economy is becoming more and more impoverished over time. Then a key event happened on the UNSC level. Countries Ireland and Tiger moved a resolution in the UNSC for action of climate security, or to move climate change away from UNFCCC to Security Council. India and Russia voted against this and stated that, see, developed and least developing countries had worked over the last 2 decades to make common but differentiated responsibility a fundamental tenet of climate action. Today's attempt to link climate with security is to obfuscate the lack of progress of critical process of UNFC. क्या होगा? UNSC के अंदर 3 countries who have veto is US, UK and France. Okay, they represent those countries who have much larger or common but differentiated responsibility. They have the responsibility to fix climate change today. Their actions are the ones that have led to climate change of the past. So therefore, their liability is much more. But if the move is moved to Security Council, away from UNFCCC, where every country has equal voice, it will become a closed shop for them. They can then prevent any such action which calls for or calls out their abuse of the system. They could then stall the progress, and therefore Russia's step to prevent such measures from happening in UNSC should be praised. India also voted against the draft resolution and has actively called for UNFCCC process to be much more authoritative instead of moving it to the Security Council. Then we move on. CJI bats for more women judges. The Chief Justice of India stated that we need to take steps to ensure that more and more women are appointed to the courts of Supreme Court and High Court. Then we come to the national news regarding Lakhimpur Kheri. In this regard, the case has now been moved away from sections of reckless driving, not committed because of negligence, rather it was intentionally carried out through a planned conspiracy to kill people. This hence section 307 attempt to murder, 326 voluntary causing hurt and criminal conspiracy will now be applied in the present case. That this is a case of cold-blooded murder. You knew that these farmers were going to be there and you wanted to mow them down. This is the shocking admission that the Supreme Court appointed SIT has found it out. It is not by the farmer body themselves but by the SIT. All right. So thus it needs to be seen what action will be taken. Will the minister resign? Okay. Then we move on. To the other national news. Are a fortnight's emerging evidence on Omicron variant. What is the Omicron variant? Omicron variant first identified in South Africa is B.1.529. We definitely need to remember this. What does Omicron is? Omicron is one of the number from Greek numerals. Okay, alpha, beta, gamma. It's a variant of concern highlighted by WHO, World Health Organization. In that regard, the key aspect related to the Omicron variant is that it has higher transmissibility. Does it have a chance of more breakthrough infections? It is possible to see so. That vaccines are less effective against the Omicron variant than in comparison to the Delta variant, which had wreaked havoc in the country because we had back then almost no, what can you say, vaccination immunity. Okay, but as of today we have 55% of adults who are fully vaccinated, that is they have taken both their vaccine doses. Then we move on. The COVID pill is near 90% effective, as Pfizer has stated. They have developed a over-the-top pill against COVID and it is showing effective signs against the Omicron variant also, but we need to have more data to finally confirm whether this is the case or not. Then on the right hand side, human rights to be the core part of Garcetti's India engagement. Okay, Los Angeles Mayor Eric Garcetti will be the US President nominee for position of Ambassador to India. So you can say who will be the new US Ambassador to India? It will be Los Angeles or LA Mayor Eric Garcetti. He has also highlighted that India is a vital state for future of American security and prosperity. That for America to be secure, we need to have closer relationship with India. Then we move on. Blinken vows to expand US military might in the Indo-Pacific. This is in counter to the rising influence of the Chinese. Okay. Then we move on. RBI ushers in corrective action scheme to better control NBFCs. Non-banking financial corporations are those companies that extend loans but do not take in deposits or provide any banking services in general. Okay. Then we come to the sporting side. In terms of this, nothing of note for us. So on the text and context, what is the status of the smart cities project? Smart cities assessment framework has been created by Niti Aayog. It is one of the flagship scheme of the current government, that cities should now be updated towards a more technological framework. Who implements the policy of smart cities? It is the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. Okay, that smart city is a city that has resilient infrastructure, technologically sound, takes decisions based on artificial intelligence, and is sustainable infrastructure in terms of its future readiness. This is all part of the smart cities mission that was launched on June 2025. Okay, 2015, June 25 or 2015. Now, the status of policies is less important from CLAT perspective. Such questions are not asked in the examination. Excuse me. Okay, then we move on, making a case for decriminalization. This is that should non-hard drugs such as cannabis, which are now being legalized in different countries such as USA, for recreational purposes or medicinal purposes, should that be done with the Indian NDPS Act or not? Then we move on, the truth about zero budget farming. That is zero budget farming or total organic farming using cow dung, is it sustainable? Does it have substantiated claim of higher yields than the ones using chemical fertilizer, or is it a cover up? The bust of zero budget farming was called out in Sri Lanka recently, when the government announced that the country will definitely only have organic farming, and then withdrew back and allowed India's chemical fertilizers to be exported because of the threat that this will lead to widespread shortage of food in the country. That was the claim that was made, that see, you need to ensure that resources are provided, and there is no scientific claim that this kind of agriculture increases yield, improves food security, or the overall land quality itself, or prevents against decreasing of nutritional value of land. So none of this is there, but the Prime Minister has backed organic farming as the way to go ahead for the future. Needs to be seen how that is adopted. So on that point, we conclude the newspaper analysis for the day. Okay, the key aspect that needs to be remembered in today's newspaper are the constitutional principles. Okay, then related to citizenship, okay, and then the CBDR, common but differentiated responsibility, the attempt of UNSC to see climate as a security concern. All right, so this was in counter of that. India and Russia voted against it, China abstained from it, that see, such action should not be taken. And UNFCCC is the key forum, United Nations Framework Convention Against Climate Change, for climate change, is the way to deal with these issues. All right, so on that point, we conclude the newspaper analysis for the day. The notes related to the newspaper analysis, the highlighted portion, will be available on the link bit.ly/KUSHGK notes. Plus, if you are someone who wants to be informed about the changes or any doubts with which you want to reach out to me, you all can connect with me on my Telegram channel, that is Kushagra Goel the Legal Game _ Unacad. Now, lastly, if you're someone who is totally unaware of what Unacademy special classes are all about, then you need to know them. Why? Because they are unique in the sense that in these classes you can participate with the educator. Unlike your education over YouTube, in these special classes you can raise your hands to ask questions immediately. Plus, you receive notification every time the class goes live. And lastly, the moment the class ends, the lecture notes are available for download. And what is the best part? You can watch these classes n number of times anywhere from different devices. And if you are looking for a dedicated batch to study for your examination, for the CLAT examination, you need to take the plus subscription of Unacademy, because unlike or similar to your traditional coaching, here you will be part of a batch. Your classes will happen at a sustained point of time in a different time slot. Plus, you will get access to national and sectional mock tests, which will help you in your preparation. So, if you are a student who is looking for preparation for CLAT 2022 examination, take a 6-month subscription. And if you are a student for CLAT 2023, then take a 12-month subscription. And if you want to avail a discount on your subscription, use my code KUSSGK for an additional 10% discount. Along with the classes, Unacademy's Learner app also provides you with free of cost weekly tests. These weekly tests are in the form of Unacademy Law Aptitude Test, which is a half test of the CLAT examination. It happens every Saturday. And the weekly T20 test, similar to T20s, 20 minutes, 20 questions, 20 marks on different segments of the examination on a daily basis. These are open for everyone without any payment required. If you are looking for batch for CLAT 2024, then you should subscribe to Unacademy's Law and Order batch, which begins on 5th January. If you are a student who is already a graduate or is now going to graduate this summer and is looking for entrance into the Delhi University's Campus Law Center, take up or subscribe to our DU Dream batch, which begins on 3rd January. There is a new batch for CLAT 2023 aspirants, which begins on 24th December, which is known as Legal Fix, and Emerge batch for CLAT 2022 aspirants that begins on December 22nd. With that, I thank all of you. Do remember that tomorrow, that is December 16, is the 50th anniversary of our victory in the Bangladesh Liberation War. The Indian war effort with Field Marshal Sam Manekshaw and Prime Minister Indira Gandhi successfully ensured that within 13 days we separated and liberated Bangladesh, separated Pakistan with West and East, liberated the East Pakistan and for the Bangladeshis. Our efforts are something that are recognized. It is one of the key topics for your preparation of the examination, so don't skip it. On that note, thank you so much all of you. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends if they have less idea about the analysis. On that point, thank you so much. See you all tomorrow.